Hello everyone, welcome to my channel or welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Caterina or Cat and this is Infinite Wellness Within. In today's pick a card reading, our topic is how to end resistance in your life. Once you choose your card, you can find the timestamps in the description box below, which will take you directly to your reading. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that on my website, which is also linked below. Please remember that is the only way to book any of my services with me. If anyone reaches out to you, just know that is not me. How to end resistance in your life. Okay, I feel this card needs to come out, and this is for group number 2 and group number 3. All right, so let's see what you have. Group number 1, you have number 7, renewal, rhythm, healing, and rest. You also have the Rhyolite crystal. All right, group number 2, you have number 10, quickening, discovery, acceleration, knowledge, and source. You also have the red Jasper. And for group number 3, you have number 5, kinship, teamwork, connection, sharing, and supporting. And you have the you have the Moonstone. Let's try that again. The Moonstone. All right. Please take your time choosing your card or cards. It is perfectly fine to choose more than one card if you're drawn to more than one. The most important thing is that you listen to your intuition, and I'll see you in your readings. Hello, group number 1. You have the Rhyolite, and your card is number 7 and renewal. It says renewal, rhythm, healing, and rest. And what we're looking at today is how to end resistance in your life. So the message that I'm getting from this first card is that it's time for you to definitely rest, to slow down before going into something new, before trying to figure out what is the path ahead. Spirit is saying that it's really important for you to reconnect with your inner self and kind of find yourself, figure out where you belong and what you're supposed to be doing, and also connecting with your intuition. So I'm definitely feeling a sense of grounding, especially with your crystal here and the renewal being by the tree here, being outside, all the green. It definitely feels like you need to reconnect with your soul. You need to reconnect with source or a higher power or anything of that nature, because I feel like there could be something that needs to be healed within you, and until you kind of sit down and confront that, it's always going to kind of cause some level of resistance in your life, even if you may not even be aware that this is happening sometimes. So I think that it's kind of like recalibrating your energy, recalibrating and releasing things from your past so that you don't carry them with you into these new situations. And as you do that, I'm seeing that you are then able to connect much, much better with your intuition and also with seeing signs and synchronicities going forward on your path. So that's what I'm seeing here. Let's look at your other cards. What else would you like to say to group number 1 regarding how to end resistance in group number 1's life? Okay, so is that 2? Okay, well this one wants to come out too, so you have 3 cards. So let's see what you have. Number 8, self-awareness, observe from a balanced perspective. Okay, so this is basically what I was talking about. How do you become self-aware if you're constantly on the go, if you're constantly going from one thing to another, and you're like always almost hyper focused on other things? So some of you just may not want to confront certain things in your life that you need to release, because that's not the most fun thing to do, right? So I definitely feel there's an energy here of slowing down, getting grounded, and looking at things in your past from this balanced perspective, seeing things from kind of like a fresh point of view, from a different standpoint, and also doing what you can to release anything that may have, like maybe you have an attachment to something, or if something has an attachment to you, definitely releasing that. So this could be, you know, really anything. This could be something from your childhood. This could be a past relationship, romantic relationship, or friendship that you need to get closure within. It could be a lack of self-esteem. Maybe you were at work or in school or something, and you know, someone said something to you that was critical of what you were doing, and maybe you've never been able to let go of that. So just a few examples. But what I do see is that you're gaining your strength back, and you have this clearer vision of your future and your path forward once you do that. Okay, so now you have number 15, compassion, co-create space for passionate inclusion. So I feel this is talking about having compassion for yourself, but how can you really have compassion for those pieces of yourself that need compassion if you don't sit down and recognize what those things are, right? So I'm definitely getting a sense of healing that is coming in here, but first you have to confront what needs to be healed. Right? So this could even be if there's certain people around you or certain energies around you who kind of bring you down, that energy definitely needs to be cleansed out of your auric field, because you may not realize that that could be causing resistance, because that negative energy is stuck to your auric field, right? And so it's lowering your vibration. So I'm definitely picking up something about cleansing energy. So this could absolutely be something from your past, or it could be talking about something that's currently in your environment, and you may not be able to leave that current environment. And Spirit is saying, if you can't do that, then that's fine. But you do want to work on not letting that energy really affect you as much as it could be. So maybe putting, like, you know, a white light around your body, you know, imagining that there's this beautiful white protective light around you so that you are protected from this other energy. Or maybe if you have a job that you don't like and you're wanting to make some changes, but every time you try to do that, you feel resistance. So maybe every time you get off work, you need to just kind of sit for 5 minutes and just imagine all of that energy going from your crown chakra, so the top of your head, and just going down all throughout all your chakras in your body, down to your feet, and then just releasing that energy back into the earth, so that you kind of have this reset every day. That's also something that you could do. All right, 5, cycles and patterns, return to the origin, transform the effect. So this is basically what I was saying in the beginning. So when we talk about returning to the origin, this is what I was saying about getting grounded, about looking, taking a deep dive into your shadow self, if you will, and, you know, trying to figure out what's out of alignment, or what needs to be healed from my past or from my current situation. Because what I'm seeing here is there's some sort of repetitive cycle, some sort of pattern, or some sort of habit. For some of you, it could even be some sort of maybe an addiction, or something that is similar to an addiction, where it's just like this pattern of behavior that Spirit is saying this can all be changed. But the key here is realizing what it is exactly that needs to be changed. And that's how you're going to end this resistance. And so how are you going to realize what it is? Well, that's when you kind of reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your higher powers, ask for guidance from your spirit guides, things like that. So let's get some more information. Okay, and I feel that one. Okay, yeah, did you see how it kind of fell there too? So Let's see what this one is. Beneath the surface, do you see what I'm saying? You need to go deep, do a deep dive. What's really driving you, true motives, and breaking free? Yes, this is exactly what I've been talking about. So doing that deep dive into your soul, into your energy, and you don't have to have any special training to do this. You don't have to go to, a healer. You can do this on your own. Absolutely. You just need to be in the right headspace. So if you like meditating, excuse me, if you like meditating, that's one way to do this. Maybe if you like Reiki, or if you like crystals, connecting with those energies, that's definitely a way to do this as well. You could even do this by taking a salt bath, by, just, sitting still, sitting in silence, and really allowing this information to come to the surface. Okay, so that's how you're going to break free from this resistance that's going on. And then, so once you do that, and then you kind of get clarity on that, I feel that you're going to receive answers for like how to move forward, and how to break those cycles, and how to, start new patterns, form new patterns, and walk into these kind of like new cycles, things like that. Was there anything else going on with this card? Oh, okay. Yeah, there's something about not being afraid to release things also. So it's for some of you, I feel there's resistance in getting closure with certain things, because if you don't have closure with certain things, then a lot of times you have a wall up, and that wall offers a sense of protection, right? Because nothing can get in. So when you do this deep dive, and you may have a fear like, oh no, if I let go of these negative energies, then my wall is going to come down, and then you may feel vulnerable. But what Spirit is saying is that you are going to be protected throughout this whole entire process. And once you cleanse that energy, that resistant energy, then your energy is going to rise. And so then you're attracting new energies into your life, instead of energies that were vibrating on a different level than where you're going to be after this process. So I hope that makes sense. All right, King Tide, plenty, prosperity, receiving the fullness of life. Yeah, so do you see how the King Tide here is kind of washing everything away after you do the deep dive? And then what comes in after that? Plenty, prosperity, and receiving the fullness of life. So it's pretty amazing how your cards really are showing that you do have renewal. There is a new rhythm. There is healing in your future. You just need to rest and allow the process to take shape, and allow this reformation to take place in your life. So give me just a second here. I'm going to move these, and I'm going to push them up a little bit, because your tarot cards are also big, and so are these oracle cards. So we're just going to do that. All right, so let's get your tarot cards. What else would you like? Thank you. What else would you like to add to group number 1, please? We're looking at how to end resistance in group number 1's life. All right, what else, please? Okay, and we need this one also. So let's see what you have. We need to start with this one. Okay, the 4 of Cups. So, okay, this is showing what you're doing here is exactly what I've been talking about, right? Look at you're sitting here on the ground, and you don't literally have to go outside if you don't want to, right? But if you want to, that's a great way to get grounded, connecting with nature, with earth, things like that. So as you're doing this, you can see this person sitting here feels a little bit uncomfortable with the process. But what else do you see here? This animal here, what is that, a duck, a goose, whatever it is, doesn't matter, is offering protection. So it looks like it's raining. It looks like there's a storm going on here, but you're very, very protected. So it feels like this is an uncomfortable but necessary cleansing that needs to happen in order for you to remove this resistance from your life. So it's definitely healing, and healing can be very uncomfortable. in any form, right? If you cut your finger and then it starts itching as it's healing, right? That's so annoying. If you're healing through, psychological stress or, anything like that, that is really uncomfortable too. So it's just kind of about pushing through that process, and you're going to get out on the other side. And like I said, you are protected. You're not alone. Look here, you have this little animal here. It looks like a little sheep or goat or something. And then you have the little bird here. So all you have to do is ask for your guides to help you and to protect you, and they will be there for you. All right, the Ace of Pentacles. Do you see the theme going on here? You're cleansing, you're healing here, and then what happens? You have new growth. And also look at how you're so grounded here, like you're quite literally like kind of in the ground here, because you can see, it looks like your feet are going all the way down to where these roots are here. So I definitely feel like this is what you need to set a firm new foundation, to really set new roots for yourself and for a new pattern in your life, or new patterns to emerge in your life. And I feel that there could be two specific areas in your life that would benefit the most from this. So let's just say, just to give you an example, that it could be your work life. Maybe you don't have a work-life balance right now. Maybe you're working too much or too little, or maybe you're not making enough money, or maybe you're not fulfilled in your career. So let's say that that starts to change, right? And so then as a result of that changing, it kind of spills out into other areas in your life. So then your personal relationships will start to change because you're in a better place in your life. You're happier, things around you at work are flowing, you have this work-life balance. So current relationships will get better, future relationships will flow easier as well. I'm also seeing something about finances getting better for you as well. We'll see if we get more information about that as we go. The Eight of Wands. See, it really seems to happen very quickly too. The transition, like after you go through this healing process, I feel that things really pick up for you. I feel that you find yourself in different situations around different people. There's new beginnings all over the place for you, at least two very significant areas in the very beginning. And then I feel that some of you even end up moving somewhere completely new, to the point where once you get to this new place, you'll be like, oh my gosh, if you would have told me a year ago that I was going to be living here, I would have said you're crazy, right? So something like that can be going on as well. Now, if we look at how long it's going to take you to go through the healing process, I don't know if we can really get a definitive answer on that, because this is a general reading. So it's really going to vary quite widely from person to person. But if anything comes up, I mean, believe me, I will absolutely tell you. Okay, so you have the Seven of Swords. So this is basically what I was saying about those things that you need to detach from, because there seems to be, for some of you, some sort of memory or some sort of false belief system about yourself, about your true potential in this lifetime. Those things are holding you back. And I feel also that you could have blinders on as well for things that are around you, for past that are around you, because I'm kind of getting a feeling, it feels like some of you may see other people being successful, other people taking risks, or other people getting communication from, what they've been waiting for. It just happens to work out in their favor. Things happen to show up. And you're like, well, where's my opportunity? Why can't I move forward? Why can't I enjoy life the way these other people are? Because something is very, very heavy. Something's weighing you down. And it's like putting blinders on. It's like you can only see so far in front of you, because do you see here how it looks kind of foggy? I mean, it kind of looks like the sun is so bright that it's kind of blinding you, and then at the same time it also looks kind of foggy. So I feel that's probably, I mean, I don't know if you're seeing it that way, but that's how I'm seeing it. So that's probably because different people are going to watching this are going to have different perspectives on things. But it is kind of that same concept. Like if the sun is so bright outside and you go out there and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't see anything. Or if you were outside in that and then you go inside, you can't see anything because you have like the light blindness or whatever that's called, the sun blindness. I don't remember what that's called, but I'm sure you understand the point. Same thing with the fog. You can only see so far ahead, right? Because you have all of these other things that are distracting you. So absolutely, this looks like a snake here. So to end this resistance, you need to shed your old skin that doesn't belong there anymore. Possibly shedding environments also, because I'm definitely feeling that you don't belong somewhere or something is attached to you and it doesn't belong with you anymore. So this can be, metaphorically speaking, shedding your skin, just kind of in general, and healing from something, releasing something, getting closure on something. Or it could mean that you need to release certain people, places, things, and situations from your life because maybe you have a fear of change. Maybe you're like, well, I know what to expect here. I hate it, but at least I know what to expect here, because if I take a risk and make some changes over here, oh my gosh, I have no idea what's going to happen. So yeah, there definitely you need to let go of something. The King of Cups. Okay, so continuing on with letting go of something, I think that there's also something here about being open to, well, maybe this is kind of what I already said. It's like being open to different possibilities, to things that look different than what you expected or what you are used to. It's kind of like opening your mind and expanding your horizons. And it's definitely letting go of something. Something that has weighed you down. Something that's causing like this chaos in your life and in this confusion. It's like mental confusion. Exactly what I was talking about here with the fog or the sun, whatever's going on here. It's like, I just see that messages from the universe and synchronicities from the universe are almost being blocked from coming in. It's almost, it's kind of like if these birds are right outside your window, but you have really thick noise canceling curtains, sun canceling curtains, light canceling curtains on, and you literally are like in this tomb inside your home. But if you remove those curtains, then you can see what's going on outside. So I really feel like you have some sort of very, very thick layer of protection around you, but it's too much protection, right? It's like you need to let those walls fall down just a little bit, which, yeah, it's scary. So that's what I'm seeing here. And so also with the King of Cups, what I'm seeing is once you release those layers, once you let go of this tight control over what's going on in your life, releasing something from your past, things start showing up in your life. There's a change in the air here, and you come into a calmer time. You come into a time when things are more balanced. You feel much better about what's going on. Things like that. Okay. Yeah. See, so here you have the Queen of Pentacles. So this is basically showing, you started out over here, right? Where you're cleansing your energy here. Then you have the Ace of Pentacles with these new beginnings. And look at what it brought you. Look at this Queen of Pentacles. You are grounded here. You're standing in your power. You know who you are. You know what you want. You know where you're going. You also know what you don't want, which is also very important. You are independent here. There's a lot of productivity going around here or going on here. And you also have a lot to offer. You're very open here. You're open to new experiences. You're open to new people, places, things, and situations. And I feel people are more receptive to you also here. So yeah, there's a sense of independence. I feel financially also you're much better off here than you were in the beginning of your journey over here. But look at the progress from the Ace of Pentacles to the Queen of Pentacles. I mean, that's amazing. That's truly amazing. So you have the Two of Wands. So it's definitely what I said about being open to other possibilities. not feeling like you won't be safe somewhere else. It is okay for you to leave your comfort zone. So I feel another way to end resistance is to don't automatically say no to new experiences. Don't automatically say no, because I get the sense if something new is presented to you, it's kind of like, no, I don't want to do that. It's like this sense of fear that just overtakes some of you all of a sudden, and it's just like automatically no, I'm not doing that. And so Spirit is saying, well, hold on a minute before you say no. Try to think about it. Try to, have this new me and say, well, you know what, can I think about it for a minute and see how I feel? So sit with it. I mean, this person is quite literally sitting with the world here. Sit with it and see, how does it feel? Maybe take a chance on some things. That's also a way to help to start ending this resistance that you have going on. So the Four of Swords, yeah. So this is basically what we were talking about in the very, very beginning. This is healing. This is rest. This is finding a sense of renewal. Because what I'm seeing here, there's something going on where it feels like there's a lot of anxiety going on in your body or in your mind or in an environment that you are currently in. And that is what's creating this resistance. So what you want to do is, like we talked about earlier, how to release that energy, but also something really simple that you can do. I used to do this when I was in college. Before I went to bed, or actually I was in bed, but I would just imagine like all the energy from the day, I would just imagine it going from my head and just being pushed out down through my toes and my feet. And this was before I got into Reiki and stuff like that. And so I would just imagine every night for a few minutes, just as I was falling asleep, that this energy is just being released from my body, so that when you do rest at night, you have, rejuvenation, healing, that's going on. And also you want to pay attention to your dreams, because I feel that your spirit guides and anyone who has passed on, who's on the other side, will be giving you signs, will be providing synchronistic energies to you, kind of like energies or symbols or signs or numbers, something like that, that you will recognize in your waking life. And so it would be like, oh my gosh, that's what I saw in that dream that I had. And so it'll be like triggering some sort of like comfort with embracing new things or new people or embracing a new path, things like that. Okay. So you have the King of Cups. This is interesting that you have two King of Cups. So in this deck, there's like, oh my gosh, see what happened? There's like, I think there's dual court cards, and like the Kings and Queens. And so I just leave them in here because when they both show up, I feel like it's really, really interesting. So look at this card compared to this King of Cups. Do you see, so this dress, there's clearly like a hole in the dress and a hole in the person. And this boat is like going through there. But what do we have here? We have a whole person, right? So do you see the transformation that you have made here? You're in control. You're holding this boat like, I own this boat. But here, this boat in the King's hand up here, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, what is this? What do I do with this? Almost like I don't feel comfortable. You're very, very comfortable here. So you're in control of things. And isn't it interesting that this is below the Eight of Wands, where you're changing those cycles and those patterns here. So now you're in control, you're independent. The Ace of Cups, and then look what happens. You have the Ace of Cups showing up here. So you have the Ace of Pentacles here, the Ace of Cups here. Look at these amazing butterflies. I mean, is this a transformation or not, right? This is a massive, massive transformation that's coming in for you. You feel so much lighter here. You have grown so much. Look at how big this person is. You can see the trees down here. That's how much you have grown. You have risen above your problems. You've transformed, I feel, the way you think, the way you see things, the way you do things even, right? And why and how? Because you went beneath the surface. You faced your fears. You got rid of things that were attached to you, things that did not belong there. And you let go of holding on to what you know, holding on to what is familiar, and then you are able to break free and see that there are other options out there for you. Wow, now you have the King of Swords. See, do you see how you're coming into your power here? So the King of Swords, you are, oh my gosh, you are so connected to your spirit guides, to your soul energy at this point here. You're seeing things differently here. You're very, very powerful. You have a gift of communication. You have a gift of foresight. And I feel that you're really restructuring your life. And I feel that this sword here can be used in the future going forward. Anytime you start to slide back into this energy of repeating these old patterns or cycles, you have become more self-aware. And I feel that with the sword, you can kind of stop that when it starts creeping back in, and you can kind of reset yourself. It just becomes almost second nature for you at this point. There's also something happening here at this point, something with communication. Oh, okay. So so you're coming into alignment with like your dreams, with where you want to be, where you're supposed to be on a soul level. All right, let's look at your last card. The Seven of Cups. Yeah, very interesting. So with the Seven of Cups, what you're seeing here, it's kind of a continuation of the King of Swords here. What you're seeing here is hope, renewal. You're seeing possibilities where before you couldn't see anything. Because remember with the Seven of Swords here, how you had the sunlight that was too bright, you had the fog that was blocking your view. You can see everything clearly here. And you feel like anything and everything is possible here. And so when you get to this point, you're way more in touch with your intuition. You're way more in tune with the possibilities that are around you, and you have less fear in reaching out for these possibilities and making these things happen. So that is what I'm seeing for you. I hope this reading helped you. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And if you ever want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that on my website, which is linked below. Thank you so much for watching. Hello, group number 2. You have the red Jasper, and your card is number 10, quickening, discovery, acceleration, knowledge, and source. All right, so what I'm seeing here is it feels like, so we're looking at how to end resistance in your life, and it feels like there could be a new beginning that's coming up for you. So Spirit is saying that you want to plan for these changes as best as possible. And one way to do that before these changes actually take place is to make sure that you're working on yourself first. Make sure that you are releasing any self-limiting beliefs, that you're clearing any obstacles before you're moving forward. So taking a look at the past and what were the obstacles that came up? Is there a pattern? Is it a thought process? Is it a person in your life that's creating resistance? And really kind of shedding any of that energy as much as possible before you move into something new. With any situation in your life, Spirit is saying that's what you want to do. So with knowledge here in discovery, this could require you to, you know, kind of, I mean, some of you I feel will actually go to a professional. So any kind of professional, this could be an energy worker. This could be someone like a therapist. This could be, you know, anything like that where you can kind of speak truthfully and honestly about what's going on with you, and have a third party look at what you're saying and then offer you information based on that. And then you take that information, and so maybe they give you some homework to do, and then the next time you go, then you will have done like this work. And so it's kind of a way of self-reflection. And so if you don't have money to do that, or if that's not resonating with you, I'm seeing that there are other ways of doing this with something that's online where it wouldn't really cost any money. There's so much information available now online, or you could go to the library or something like that. So I do feel that it's going to take a little bit of effort on your part. But definitely doing this will allow you to see clearly. It will clear the path in front of you. And you're also going to be seeing signs and synchronicities much easier so that you know exactly where to go on your path forward. Yeah, but there's definitely a lot of growth that's coming in for you for sure. And I feel like once you go through this process, you don't necessarily have to do it again. It seems like it really kind of heals everything, heals your resistance. And then it seems like you end that cycle and then you end up going into these new beginnings where this just, for some reason, this just doesn't come up again. But it's also a lot of work to get rid of this up front before you go into this new cycle. So let's say, for instance, if you've had problems with romantic relationships in the past, and this, you can think about this metaphorically as well, where you've brought baggage in from past relationships into the new relationships. Is that a good thing to do? Probably not. Is it easy to get rid of that? Probably not, right? But it's kind of just like, so let's say if someone wasn't faithful in your past, and so now you're really jealous and you're paranoid, and for good reason. But it's like, okay, how do you work past that? How do you release that so that you can leave it in the past, so that when you get into a really positive and nourishing relationship, you don't bring that to taint this new relationship. And it could be the same thing with, like going into a new job or something like that. So let's see what else we can get for you. All right. Is this one or two? Okay, wow, that's interesting. Group number 1 had 3 as well. All right, number 29, the bigger picture, see all sides without contradiction. Interesting. I mean, this is kind of what I was saying, where I was seeing some of you going to a third party and having them show you the bigger picture. So this could definitely involve something or someone else. So getting information from the internet so that you can apply that and say, oh, okay, I never even thought to look at that part before. Or going to a therapist and they'll say, okay, well, tell me what's going on, and have you thought about this, this, and that? And then you're like, oh, no, I haven't, but now I am. Right? And so this is a way to see, like, what is the bigger problem here? What is going on? And then I feel you can break it down into smaller pieces. And then eventually, I mean, look at this energy. Look at the chakras all aligned right here. So eventually, you're going to be in a much, much better energetic place. All right, number 17, reimagine, define who you are and create who you want to be. I mean, this is pretty much what I was saying, maybe not in these exact words, but this is you incorporating everything that you're learning here and letting go of certain things that no longer belong with you as you go into these new beginnings. Because it's interesting, you have number 10 here and you have number 29 here. So both of these cards are indicating this is what you should be doing before stepping foot into a new situation, because you don't want to bring that energy into something that's very, very positive. So yeah, and I mean, just look at how your chakras again are just aligned here, and everything is very much, there's like a synchronistic energy that's going on here. So also don't let the past hold you back. Any obstacles that you had in the past, that does not define your future. That was the past. Maybe those obstacles were put in place in your past because that path wasn't meant for you, because there was a better path for you. Or maybe there was someone or something on that path that could have caused you harm or something like that, right? So nothing in your past defines where you're going in the future. You can rewrite your future. You don't have to be the same person that you were 5 years ago, even a month ago, right? You can change, and I'm feeling like you will, most likely. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. Oh, Okay. Yeah, I did the energy that I just got was like overpowering for a minute. 45 fulfillment, striking gold in every experience. Do you see your third card? Do you see your chakras here? This is amazing. Look at this light. Look at the light on all of these cards. This is so amazing. So this is your future. This is where you're headed. You're striking gold with every experience. So this is absolutely saying what I just said. Your past does not have to define you going forward. All you have to do is get the bigger picture, right? What we're seeing here. And yes, some of you will need assistance with that, but I'm seeing all you have to do is ask your guides for assistance. Can you direct me to the assistance that I need? And something's going to show up for you. Look at what happens when you ask for guidance, right? So just know that change is possible in your life, and I do see it happening for you, but you're going to have to put in the work, and the work may not be comfortable, but that's part of this process. Okay. Thank you. Gratitude, appreciating what is sustaining you. So I really feel that there's gratitude for seeing the bigger picture. I'm also, so if somebody helps you here, you're going to have a great sense of gratitude for the person who helped you. There's also, I feel this is your future self telling you, hey, in the future, you know, this is your future self saying thank you for taking the time to put yourself first. Thank you for taking the time to go through this process, which is not going to be pleasant every step of the way, right? Releasing the old, releasing limiting limiting thoughts. Let's just say that because I can't talk correctly. Yeah. And so I also feel that you're going to see things differently. You're going to have a greater appreciation for things that come into your life because you no longer have this resistance, right? And so there's a flow that's happening in your life where it just feels like, oh my gosh, life just got so much easier. And so things happen much quicker for you. Things happen easier. There's this acceleration that happens where things just, when you need things, they just kind of show up for you. So there is a massive sense of gratitude, which is also going to help you moving forward, helping you to bring in even more new things. Okay, so immerse yourself, training, learning, new hobbies, and passions. So I feel that this is talking about a couple different things here, right? This is first talking about seeing the bigger picture, putting in the work to go through like the self-discovery, you know, things like that. Definitely letting go of self-limiting beliefs. And there's something about changing your circumstances and not being afraid to make those changes. So not being afraid to learn something new, not being afraid of new experiences, talking to new people, learning new things, all of that. And so I feel through this process, something that's happening is that you are getting back in touch with who you are in this lifetime, who you're supposed to be. And it feels like you're reconnecting with a passion that you have, with a possible career path that you're supposed to be on, or something that you really, really enjoy doing, right? It could just be a hobby. It doesn't have to be work related, but you're reconnecting with something that has to do with like creating something or work or something like that. And it's really fulfilling you on a deep soul level, whether it's work or just a hobby, something you do for fun. And I feel that you're also, as you do that, you're also starting to connect with other people, right? New people have different perspectives. It's just kind of like opening up a lot of different avenues in your life. What else would you like to say to group number 2, please? We're looking at how group number 2 can end resistance. Okay. So you have the 10 of Cups. So continuing on with what I just said, You know, it's interesting how, well, with everything that I said so far is how I'm going to put that. There's something that seems to be blocking what is meant for you in this life. I feel almost like you had a detour or something that kind of took you off path. Or maybe it didn't necessarily take you off path per se, but it caused a massive distraction in your life. Massive, massive distraction in your life. And some of you may be intentionally putting distractions in your life so that you don't have to look at the bigger picture. Because anytime we confront problems in our lives, it's uncomfortable. Because when you can actually see what the problem is, I mean, do you just want to unsee it at that point, or do you want to fix it, right? And so problems typically require a little bit of effort and sometimes a lot of effort to fix them, right? I'm just stating the obvious here, right? But it's like, you know, would we rather be doing leisurely activities? Yeah, most likely all of us would. But when you do that, you have multiple things here showing that there are new beginnings, and you fall into alignment because you're reimagining your future. You're reimagining who you are and the possibilities for yourself because you no longer have these self-limiting beliefs. And I feel for some of you, there is someone around you who is placing those self-limiting beliefs on you. So for some of you, maybe they're not around you anymore. This could be something from your childhood. Maybe your parents or a sibling put those limits on you. Maybe this was a past employer or a past romantic relationship, but you're not that person. Even if you put those limiting beliefs on yourself, you are no longer that person. And Spirit says it's time for you to discover the real you. It's time for you to discover your power. Because this is what you deserve in life. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have, you know, if your resistance is with like a romantic connection, or if it's with finding a career that you love, what I'm seeing here is that you have commitment, you have dedication, you love the environment you're in and the people that you're around. And there's a lot of wholeness, like a feeling of wholeness, and that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. So this is what you deserve, and this is what you can absolutely have. All right, so you have the Six of Cups. This is exactly what I've been saying. This is like reconnecting to the old you, reconnecting to the innocent you before all this nonsense happened in your life, before, you know, when you had all the possibilities in the world and you didn't have these self-limiting beliefs. That's what is happening here. So you're going back to an easier time. You're going back to this time where you believed that everything was possible and that you could accomplish anything that you wanted to accomplish. So what I'm seeing is that the way I'm seeing it, now it's not going to be this easy for most of you, but I'm just saying this is what I'm seeing. That once you go through this process, it looks like a light is switched, like you flip a switch, and then something kind of falls in your lap. It's exactly what I'm seeing. Define who you are, create who you want to be. And it's something just falls into place for you. Something just ends up working. This could be a total pivot in your life where you end up in a situation where you're like, whoa, how did I get here? This is so amazing, but I never expected to be here, right? You're striking gold in every experience and you are very, very, very fulfilled. Exactly how you are here with the Ten of Cups. All right, so you have the Justice card. Yeah, ooh. So, you know, this process is not going to be the easiest for you. It's going to sting. It's going to sting a little bit, but it's necessary. There's something, see, I just keep feeling like an experience you had or someone in your life left an impression on you that you need to get rid of. It's like if this bee stings you and you still have the stinger in your skin, do you want that to be there for the rest of your life? Probably not, but here's the problem. For some of you, this has been in your skin for so long that now that little wound, the skin has grown over it, and so you need to dig in there a little bit to get it out. So probably not going to be the most pleasant thing you've ever done in your life, but once you do that, then you can heal, then you can move on, and you can move into this fulfillment. Yeah. See, you You have the Eight of Cups here. This is showing that you are sick and tired of having this stinger in your hand, and you're going to do something about it here. You're going to leave behind these old limiting beliefs. You're going to realize once you pull that stinger out, metaphorically speaking, of course, that it wasn't doing you any good, that you took this as far as you possibly could. It's time to move on. It's time to open a door. It's time to close one door so that you can open another. And I feel that there's, this may be literal for some of you and it may be more metaphorical, because I feel like you're realizing that a change needs to happen. So it's almost like something wasn't working out for you here. And then you're like, you know what? It's that stinger that I have in my hand. You're like, that's it. I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm going to get this fixed so that I can fix this right here. And so that's why you're going through this door here. And that's when you're going to the doctor over here, either literal or metaphorical. You're seeing the bigger picture. You're removing what injured you, what was causing you resistance. And then you have this great sense of renewal that's coming up for you with this new chapter. Yep, see, so here, this is the Melissa, this is the High Priestess. So this is you leaving something in the past that wasn't working. Look at these flowers, they're wilting and embracing the future. These flowers are beautiful, they're blossoming, you are ready for this. And so, that's what I was gonna say that I didn't say over here. So I'll say it here. So I feel like there's a middle, right? So you realizing, okay, I need to go fix this, and then you're going to the doctor. So that's like step one. And then once you get the stinger out, then you're healing. And then you're kind of in this holding pattern for a little while where you're kind of processing things differently. You're thinking about things differently. And then when you're ready, and intuitively you will know when you're ready, because this is the High Priestess. So this is one of the most intuitive cards in the deck. And you will know when it's time to move on. You will know what the next step is. You will know what this new chapter is talking about here. And let me just point out that number 17 here with reimagine right next to fulfillment, number 17 corresponds to the star card in the tarot deck. So that's what you have to look forward to, is the star card energy, which is healing, fulfillment, being in the environment that is feeding your soul, or the environments, I should say, that are feeding your soul. So here you have the Temperance card. This is similar to what I was just talking about. There's definitely healing here. You have found the key to releasing the obstacles and the resistance that's going on in your life. And things are in flow. Things are coming into balance for you. There's new experiences. There's something that's like really giving you life. It's like giving you energy. It's giving you hope and renewal. And slowly but surely, you're starting to see things come together for you in your life. You're slowly but surely remembering why you're here on this earth in this lifetime. And you're slowly but surely starting to figure out how to incorporate like this new thought process in your life, and how to move forward, how to immerse yourself in something new. So it is a process. Some of you will go through this much quicker than others, but there's no right or wrong. There's no time frame here. Everyone's time frame is going to be a little bit different, but I do see you coming out on the other side much, much better. So you have the Three of Wands. Yeah, see, this is you. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling like this fresh breeze, and it's fresh air. You have clarity, you have perspective, you've put new energies out there, you've done so much learning. I mean, talk about a soul upgrade. You have just leveled up like tenfold from where you were when you started this journey over here. Even look at this card. So this person, it feels like there's a sense of apprehension going on here about this journey that you're about to go on. But this person here is like, hey, I am here. I am ready for my new beginning. Let's go. And I feel that's going to be your energy. So you're going to get to the other side of this. It's going to be quite an experience for you, but it's going to make you stronger also. So you have the Seven of Cups. Yeah. So what I'm seeing here is you really contemplating things. First of all, I'm also seeing you learning new things like we have here. So learning, but really incorporating something into your life. So it feels like as you're going forward and you're experiencing new things and you're learning new things, that you are reflecting back. So you're still seeing the big picture here, because whatever you learned here with the big picture, I feel it stays with you, and I feel you incorporate that in most of your situations going forward. So I feel also before you dive into something, you check in with your intuition, and you just, especially at first, you want to make sure that those old thought processes aren't creeping back in, that you are thinking about things correctly, that you're making the right decisions, that your intuition is guiding you in the right place. And so you're going through this massive, massive learning process in your life here, but it's really going to benefit you for the rest of your life. And I'm also hearing that you're going to be very rewarded from the universe for taking the initiative to go through all of this. So that resistance goes away. And that's when, here, remember, striking gold in every experience. So a lot of things in your life start to come into fulfillment for you. They start manifesting right before your eyes. All right, so here's the Princess of Jars, and this is the Page of Cups. You really have a new perspective on things. You have a new appreciation for the lessons that you've gone through. You are definitely receiving information from the universe, and you're no longer afraid to take a chance on things. You have a sense of, it's like a deep appreciation for this transformation that you've gone through. And I feel that you are on the verge of like these new experiences, these new things that are coming in, which we kind of see right here. I also feel like your priorities have changed a little bit, where the things that were once really important to you seem more secondary now. So like it feels like there's more authenticity to who you are and to the people, places, and things that come into your life. So there's a deep appreciation for all of those authentic things. And the reason why is because you're being your authentic self. Not that you were like fake before or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that you're living like your authentic soul path now. So now you're attracting all of these experiences that are going to be much easier for you, because now they're in alignment with where you're supposed to be. Okay, interesting. You have some progression here. So you have the Princess of Jars here, which is the Page of Cups. And then here you have the Prince of Jars, which is the Knight of Cups. So here, where you're contemplating, okay, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? And it's interesting because look here how the jar of honey is up here and you're actually sitting on the ground here. Well, here, the jar of honey is here and you have risen up and you are ready to take action towards something. So I feel some of you, when you go through this process, see with the Eight of Cups, which is going to be right above this card, you're leaving behind things that aren't fulfilling, things that aren't, they're no longer aligned with this new you, with the new and improved you, with this new energy, with this leveling up that you're going through. So I feel that here you are definitely closing doors that no longer resonate with you. You're no longer afraid to go after these new things that do resonate with you. And you're going to make some pretty significant changes in your life. Spirit is saying slow and steady. You do not need to rush this process. If something comes up where you're like, oh my gosh, this is like a dream come true. This is what I've been waiting for. Well, then by all means, yeah, go for it. But if you're not ready to dive right into something, then take your time, slow down. Spirit says you will get there when the time is right. So you have the Ten of Pentacles. This is amazing because this Ten of Pentacles really makes me think of the Hermit card, okay? Because you have the lantern here and this gentleman here just reminds me of the Hermit on like the traditional tarot decks. So what I'm seeing here is that you're literally going through a hermit moment, maybe a little bit longer than a moment, but you're coming out enlightened. You're coming out very, very grounded, and not just grounded in like the normal sense, but grounded in who you are and what you want going forward. I feel that because you go through this work, and because also you're ending resistance, you're ending obstacles in your life, you are about to receive like you've never received from the universe before. I mean, the 10 of Pentacles, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. So there's going to be a massive gift that comes into your life. This could be a person, right? This could be a friendship. This could be a mentor. This could be a new job. This could be you moving somewhere where you feel like you belong there. Remember, striking gold in every experience. You're going to be very, very fulfilled. And look at these people back here. Okay. I feel that I feel both of these people kind of represent the old you, represents old patterns, old way of doing things. So you're leaving that behind and you are stepping into your power. I mean, the amount of gratitude that you have here, it's truly amazing. But you have to do the work, right? And so the payoff is going to be worth it though. Let's look at your last card. You have the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so slow and steady, because what I'm seeing with this is that it's not going to be a linear experience for most of you. So you may take 2 steps forward and then you may take 2 steps back. You may take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. You may take 3 steps forward and no steps back eventually, right? So eventually you're going to get the hang of it. Eventually things are going to make sense. Slowly but surely, you're realizing where that resistance was coming from. And because I'm seeing something like coming up to the surface, and then it's almost like you're sitting in front of water and you're seeing something like bubbling coming up to the surface. And at first you're like, oh my gosh, what is that? And you're kind of like, oh my gosh, is that like a sea monster? Like, what is going on here? So at first it's really scary. But then when you take a look at it, it's like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. So you kind of take these baby steps, you're seeing the bigger picture, and then slowly but surely, you're kind of peeling back the layers of the onion where you're seeing things differently, you're releasing things slowly but surely. And there's this amazing new beginning for you because you have these 2 ships coming in. So there's definitely more balance, which is then bringing in more abundance for you. I hope this reading helped you. If it did, please like and subscribe. And if you ever want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that on my website, which is linked below. Thank you so much for watching. Hello, group number 3. You have the Moonstone, and your card is number 5, Kinship, Teamwork, Connection, Sharing, and Supporting. So the energy that I'm getting from this card, when we look at how to end resistance in your life, there's something about you needing to involve other people. Like there's something about you should not be doing this alone in general. So that could mean asking for help. That could mean allowing other people into your life. That could be connecting with your higher power. So, you know, it's also about letting people in, but allowing the right people in. So let's say if you've had some experiences in your past where you've built up some pretty significant walls, which, I mean, that's completely understandable, right? I'm sure we've all been through experiences where we've had our walls up and we've set, you know, pretty heavy boundaries, but sometimes that can be a little bit unhealthy. And so what I'm seeing is letting go of a little bit of resistance and allowing more of like a co-creation or a teamwork or something like that. For one reason or another, that's what's going to help end this resistance. And obviously we're going to get some more information as we go along. But I'm seeing that they're definitely, it's kind of like cleansing past experiences could be helpful as well. Because if you do have resistance to letting people in, then that's definitely something that you want to figure out. Why are you doing that, or why do you feel that that's necessary, so that you can then fix that, and then we'll be open to different experiences with different people or different energies, things like that. So it's also kind of like co-creating with the universe as well, is something else that I am hearing here. So definitely talking about co-creating with the universe, be open to guidance from your spirit guides, from your higher powers, as well as from people who are here on Earth. Yeah, and also learning to trust your intuition and learning to trust the right advice or input from other people. I'm seeing that would also be helpful for you. So let's look at your other cards. What else can you tell us for group number 3? We're looking at how to end resistance in group number 3's life. Okay, this one caught my attention. What else, please? Ooh, okay, there we go. So I think you have 3. I think every group had 3 cards. So let's take the one that we saw. Okay. Number 10, spiritual warrior, discover and honor your inner courage. Well, it's really interesting that you have all of these animals around you. So it could definitely be that you need to connect more with, like, maybe your higher powers are animals, right? You have some very, very strong spirit animal guide. So that could be it. Maybe that's something that you need to do. Discover and honor your inner courage. So inner courage and teamwork sharing. You know, I think the other thing, it feels like some of you don't feel comfortable with teamwork or involving other people in your life or your situation, because you have a fear of being judged, or you have a fear of letting other people down or something like that. And so what I'm seeing here is there's something about wanting to be invisible and just kind of blend in, or not even be in the mix at all. But what I'm seeing is that you have a tremendous amount to contribute to a situation. And so Spirit is saying, you know, I hope you can see things this way, because you're an amazing person. You have amazing things that other people can benefit from, whether it's your personal experience or stories or, you know, a talent or a skill that you have. You're definitely supposed to be in an environment where people can appreciate what you have to offer. And what is that? There's something else. Just like allowing recognition. I feel some of you feel uncomfortable with recognition as well. So let's see what else we have for you. Number 12, secrets, a relentless push to freedom. Well, so did I say number 12? I don't know if I did, but it's number 12. So with secrets, I feel, again, it's like you don't want to let people in for one reason or another. And it feels like this is part of the problem. This is what is hanging you up. This is what is keeping you in some sort of loop. A relentless push to freedom. I feel some of you may have a need to be fiercely independent, to the point where it could be a little bit detrimental to yourself and to your situation. Because what I'm seeing is that in the right environment, around the right people, you can still have your independence when you're in a group, when you're connected to other people. But that's with the right people, right? Because if you are around the wrong people, then you're going to feel suffocated. You're going to feel like almost like being micromanaged, which, I mean, I don't know, maybe that works for some people, but that definitely doesn't work for a lot of people. So let's see what else you have here. Number 5, cycles and patterns, return to the origin, transform the effect. So I feel like it's about breaking a thought process, something that is It's something, okay, it feels like you feel safe over here away from other people, because if you never interact with other people, or you never involve other people in your life, or you don't take a chance on these new experiences because you feel uncomfortable with change or something like that, it's like breaking those patterns, breaking that thought process and that cycle, and slowly but surely starting to feel more comfortable in that kind of environment. It really feels, with this card and a little bit with this card, it feels like isolation may have become a learned response for you. And it might not be like literal isolation, but it may be an inability or not wanting to open up to other people, not wanting to open up to new situations, things like that, because it's like you want to keep something secret, you want to keep something hidden. But I feel that that was a learned response to something in your past. And now it's creating this resistance in your life because it's limiting you from all of these amazing experiences that you could be having. And right now you may be saying, yeah, but I don't really want those anyway. But what your spirit guides are showing me is that that is a learned response. And if you can try to unlearn that and try to get out of this loop with this certain thought process that you have, then that will open things up to you so that you can discover and honor, right? Not just your inner courage, but you can discover and honor like certain experiences that you're supposed to have in this lifetime, where it feels like you've been up against resistance because of, it's like an attachment to a thought or an experience that you had in the past. So releasing that is really going to help you. Ooh, did you see that card jump out? All right, what else would you like to say to group number 3? Okay, so, well, this is it then. I wasn't sure if we were supposed to take both of them or just one, and then this one came out. So let's see what you have. Thank you. Gratitude, appreciating what is sustaining you. This was in group number 2 as well. I think it was group number 2. Okay, so this is how you're going to be received. Because when you let go of this attachment that you have to this fear or whatever it is to letting people into your life, people who come into your life, people, places, things, and situations that you allow in are going to appreciate you. They're going to, like, there's something that you contribute to a group setting, to a network, to your soul group. And so when you can contribute in that way, it also uplifts your soul. You feel fulfilled. And then once you receive this very positive feedback, that also starts to help break these patterns. You start to open up more. You're no longer like suspended in this cycle of thoughts where it's like, no, I can't trust people, or I don't want to rely on other people, or, whatever it is. And then from there, I really feel like there's a massive shift where you're like, oh my gosh, this is so much easier. So then you're not having that resistance anymore. Metamorphosis, exactly what I've been saying. Embrace transformation. Things are different now. Why are things different now? Because you're releasing those attachments and that fear that you have that something is going to repeat. But see, the only reason why it's been repeating is because you're stuck in a loop. And so you're attracting those same things, because what Spirit is showing me is that this is a major, major life lesson for you to kind of embrace that you're not your past. You don't have to hold on to something that happened in the past. Because I feel some of you maybe spoke up about something and you are ridiculed, or you did something and you weren't appreciated. And so now you're just like, well, I'm just going to do everything on my own because it's just easier that way. But then if you do find yourself in situations where other people are involved, you're very closed off. So you're only showing those people a little bit of who you are, and the rest of you is hidden right here. But when you can break that cycle and you can show these people and show the world who you really are and what your energy really is, that's when you see this metamorphosis taking shape. That's when you start attracting the right people, places, things, and situations into your life, because now you're giving 100% instead of giving 5% or maybe 50%. You know, I'm not saying exactly the amount. This is just, you know, an example. And so now these other things that are coming into your life, they're also giving 100% or 95%, whatever it is. And so it's like everything becomes very cohesive all at once, and everything kind of morphs into this very, very positive new cycle for you, where then you're ending this resistance. So embrace transformation. Things are different. Things are now different. So you can, Spirit says you can safely let go of previous negative experiences. And that's truly going to be your push to freedom here, because you will be free of this here, whatever it was in your past that you have this attachment to. So let's look at your tarot cards. All right, what else would you like to say to group number 3? We're looking at how to end resistance in group number 3's life. Okay. So you have the 4 of Cups. Yes. You know, it's interesting that you have this something going on here. So it looks like maybe it's what's that called? Like a replica of a human head. But you have like the surgical tools here. So I feel that what's going on here is when you are presented with a new experience, with new people coming into your life, once you identify what's going on up here, you start thinking like, oh, okay, this is a new experience. This isn't attached to my past. This feels safer. And so you start reworking how you're looking at things. You start seeing things differently. And so it's probably going to be very, very uncomfortable at first, but what's happening is you're starting to reform like these synapses in your brain, where you're starting to realize, okay, I can show 1% more of myself. So instead of keeping 95% of myself hidden, I'm going to keep 94% of myself hidden. And so you let that extra 1% out, and then you realize, oh, wow, that was a really positive experience. And so you're reshaping your brain, and you're reshaping the, instead of negative associations, you're shaping positive associations. So let's see what else you have. You have the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, so what I'm seeing here is this is kind of like a metamorphosis. You're learning to embrace new things. You're learning to ignore things from your past that once had a hold on you. As you can see, this looks kind of like a snake or some kind of sea creature. It's no longer holding you back. You're slowly but surely looking forward to new things in your future. You're thinking about things differently. It's really interesting that here you have the surgical tools in the brain here, and then here you have the pentacle on top of your head here. So it's like, all right, I'm going to say goodbye to my past. I'm going to say goodbye to the way that I used to see things. And, you know, I don't have to move quickly into something new. I can set the pace myself. And when I feel comfortable, I can move forward. And if I don't feel comfortable, I don't have to move forward. So I feel like it's a slow process for you, but you do eventually start to feel more comfortable until you get to the point where you're this spiritual warrior up here and you're just like, you know, a social butterfly. Okay, so here you have the Two of Cups. So what I'm seeing here is when you allow new experiences to come into your life, right? When you go through this change, this metamorphosis, you will be very, very surprised at the synchronicities that happen. You'll be very surprised with what shows up, because it's going to be completely different than things were in the past. There's very much a reciprocal energy that's going to be going on in your future. And the reason why is because you are meeting people in your soul group. You're meeting people who have gone through similar experiences as you, people who once did not trust anybody, people who never let anybody in. And some of you, right, so they've already gone through this process. And so you will kind of spiritually identify with these people. Okay, and some of you, this is what I'm sorry, I can't talk. This is what I was going to say a minute ago. Some of you will be connecting with people who are going through this process at the exact same time as you. And you will be learning together how to let go of like limiting yourself and closing yourself off to other people and experiences. And so it will be a really, really amazing, beautiful connection that you have with these people or person. So this could be a romantic partnership. This could be a friendship. This could be work colleagues that, you know, you really vibe with, things like that. So it doesn't have to be romantic, even though we are seeing that here. But it's some of you are absolutely going to be learning and growing through this process with someone else. And it's going to be really cool if, you know, for those of you who do go through this with someone else, because it's like you're going to be cheering each other on, and you're going to have an even greater sense of gratitude for those people who do help you through this. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Okay, so we have the Knight of Cups here. So what I'm feeling is going on here is that you're saying goodbye to the past. You are taking a risk in letting go of the past and finding closure, because you seem to be letting go of your armor here. You are laying something to rest that you're realizing was no longer working for you, something that was causing resistance for you. You're listening to your intuition more than your ego, because your ego is there to protect you. And so I feel like a lot of times when these new situations or circumstances came up, your ego came right in to protect you. And you were like, no, I'm good. I'm going to stay over here in my corner. I don't want to interact with anyone. I don't want to involve anyone else in my situation. I am fine just by myself over here. Thank you very much. So you're starting to loosen those reins a little bit. And I feel that once you do that, I feel like really the doors open for you so that you can move forward and you can embrace new things, new situations, new people. And it just feels like it really brings in a lot of abundance for you, like a lot of abundance that you were missing out on before. Yeah, so here you have the Knight of Wands. That I'm telling you, there's something about the knights in this deck that just fascinate me. So there's a similar energy going on here. Because if you look at this knight, so okay, if you missed it, because I was going to point this out, let me actually show you this card first. Okay, do you see this down here? I feel like that is the armor of the knight. And this is the old you down here where you had your armor and you had a big wall up and you didn't let anyone in or anything in. This is the new you. You see how it's much softer, it's much more in flow. You're very open to receiving new things in your life. And so this is literally showing that metamorphosis that we see here. All right, and you're also being intuitively guided to go through this process. So let's look at your next knight, the Knight of Wands here. Something very similar is happening here. So you can see the knight's armor is here, but you can also see the knight in regular clothing. So slowly but surely, you're going to let your guard down. You're going to learn to trust people, places, things, circumstances, energies. And I feel another thing going on here is that you're no longer afraid to share something that you're doing, something that you're passionate about. It's like you're no longer afraid to get out there and go after what you want. It's like, oh, I have this renewed energy. I have found my power, my inner courage to break free from a mold that either someone else placed me in or that I placed myself in for whatever reason. Maybe self-limiting beliefs, maybe being afraid of change, maybe being afraid of showing people who you really are. Because in the past, when you did that, you got burned or whatever happened. Maybe someone didn't like you or what you were doing, right? But there's a lot of healing that's going on, especially with these two cards. So you have the Page of Cups. Yeah, wow, so amazing. There's a shift going on in your life. I feel, so basically what's going to happen is you're going to have an experience that allows you to feel comfortable in stepping completely out of your armor here. There's a softer side of you that's emerging. And also while you're going through this process, your intuition is also being awakened. So I really feel like you're way more in tune with people's energy. I mean, you were before. You know what I feel it is? It's not so much that you're more in tune with people's energy and energies around you. It's that you're resonating with the new energies. And so therefore it feels like you're more in tune with it, but actually you were before as well. But you're more in tune with it and it's resonating at a more positive level. And so it feels so much better than it did before. And it's like, okay, yeah, I think I feel comfortable coming out of my shell a little bit, which is exactly what you're doing here, coming out of the cup. And I feel like you're going to surprise yourself a little bit with how comfortable you do feel with some of these new experiences and new people that you are around. See? Oh my gosh, I love this because, okay, you're coming out of the cup here, right? You're surprising yourself, and then you have the Fool card. So what you're doing here, this is fascinating to me. Okay, here, remember you have the human face with the surgical tools inside the brain. Well, look at here, you have a human face right here, and what you're doing is pushing that into the floor. And you have someone else over here who's almost completely buried in the floor. Same thing going on here. So I feel what that represents is you getting your power back, right? You getting your inner courage back, you becoming this warrior and putting yourself out there and no longer being afraid of what people think of you or what's going to happen. What if I make a mistake? What if someone doesn't like what I say, or, you know, whatever it is. And so you're stepping out of your shell, you're stepping out of your comfort zone. And I feel when you do this, that's kind of when this teamwork comes in. That's when you have connections with other people, places, things, and situations and circumstances and things like that. This is when people really start to appreciate who you are. And then you start to appreciate these other people. So it's really kind of like a positive snowball effect where you just see things differently and you're truly like experiencing the world quite differently than you were before. All right, so you have the Temperance card. Yeah, this is a fascinating card. So what's going on here is you're rebuilding your life. You are putting the pieces back together slowly but surely. I feel this is a slow process. It's a learning process. Are you going to make some mistakes along the way? Sure, it's possible. Are you going to get everything right on the first try? Probably not, because it's just like putting the puzzle pieces together, right? You're going to say, okay, does this fit? No. Okay, well, let's try it over here. Let's try it here. But here's the magical thing. This is the really cool thing. Right here, I feel this is like a messenger. This is synchronicities. This is something coming in that's giving you information about where these pieces fit together. And not just that, but things that you need in your life or things that you want in your life to complement the progress that you made. These things are coming in. These things are showing up for you. And you will be able to embrace these things, and these things coming in will also embrace you and your energy. And it just feels like everything starts to flow really, really magically here. There's a cleansing energy that's going on here. There's also a lot of healing that's happening here. And also, look, isn't that the same, basically the same bird that you have right up here with the Page of Pentacles? So I feel what that is representing is slowly but surely, right? You're feeling more comfortable. You're easing into new situations. You're, you know, finding yourself slowly but surely allowing other people to see the real you. And these other people, because you're allowing other people in, they're allowing you in as well. Whereas before, if you were really kind of closed off and, you know, you didn't really want to let people in, other people may not have wanted to let you in also. So it's just like this very reciprocal experience that I feel is happening. The Sun card, see? Okay, this is interesting because you have the Two of Cups here and then with the two people, and then you have the Sun card with two people here. So I feel absolutely some of you are healing yourself. from a past romantic experience that was really devastating to you. So for some of you, that's exactly where your resistance is in your romantic life. Not everybody. So this whole reading is definitely not about that, but for some people it is, but not for everybody. So for some people, you're healing that part of your life. And as you heal, you're going to meet someone who probably went through a very similar experience to you. And I'm telling you, you're going to start healing together. I really feel that. Now, for other people, what's happening with the Temperance card and the Sun card here and the Two of Cups is that basically a continuation of what I was just saying. The more that you show yourself to the world and to other people, the more they're going to reveal themselves to you. But the more that you step outside of your comfort zone, I'm seeing that the universe is also rewarding you with these amazing new experiences that you're going to embrace, and you're going to want to move forward with these things. And it just feels very healing. It feels like you're receiving, instead of receiving resistance, you're receiving nourishment. You're receiving light and clarity and direct communication with other people and your spirit guides and you, yourself, your soul, your intuition. Everything just seems to kind of be blossoming here and growing in a really positive way. All right, so you have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so once again, you have the face here, and it looks like this person is like sewing things back together. So that's really interesting. Really interesting. Let me see. Okay, so you're making progress. And like I said, you know, you will probably make mistakes along the way just because this is a learning process. But what you're doing is really building a strong foundation with the new you. I really feel some of you were afraid to put yourself out there with a skill or a talent that you have, and you're learning to trust yourself. You're learning to be guided in the right direction so that the right people will notice what you're doing, and you will be receiving possibly compensation for what you're doing. If this is like a career, so that this is career, you're landing in the right spot, you're landing with the right company, you're very much appreciated, you're being compensated correctly. With a talent or a skill, you're being recognized for that. And there's a lot of gratitude that people have because you are sharing that gift or talent or skill with the world. So yeah, there's a lot of progress being made here. There's learning trust here. There's a lot of trust that's being built here, and like this new foundation. The Justice card. Okay, so with the Justice card, I feel like this is some sort of new beginning. You are shattering old belief systems that were causing resistance, these old belief systems that were keeping you out of balance. You're letting go of what no longer serves you. And you are, I mean, you have stepped into your power here, right? You found your inner courage, you've stepped into your power, and you're making things happen. And I feel also something that's going on here is anytime those old thought patterns start to creep back in, you have the power, you have the knowledge and the skill to just instantly get rid of it. And if anyone from your past who is connected to this thought process ever tries to come back into your life, or anyone in the future who has that same energy, you're not going to tolerate it. It's like you literally disintegrate it before it even gets close to creeping back in. There's also something here about breaking free from someone or some kind of contract that you had with something. And it's also breaking free from self-limiting beliefs. So if you are stuck in like a marriage, or you're stuck, or maybe you were stuck in a marriage that you couldn't get out of for a while, and now you're really afraid of commitment and meeting someone new, I'm seeing that's going to shift for you, and I'm seeing that marriage would be possible for you in the future because you will learn to trust again. If you are in any kind of contract or commitment with work or something like that, and now you are afraid to kind of get back into that situation, I'm seeing that new situations will be different. And I'm also seeing that some of you went through an experience like that with work specifically because you're supposed to become an entrepreneur and do things on your own. But with that, you're going to have to trust people in bringing people in if you need help with your business, or trusting that you will attract the right people for this skill or talent that you have to offer. So there will be a lot of gratitude going both ways with that type of situation. All right, so your last cup is the Ace of Cups. Did I say your last cup? I meant your last card. Your last card is the Ace of Cups. So do you see what we have gone through here? This really amazing process. And now we've arrived with your last card, which is the Ace of Cups. Look at this hand with this cup here. And what are you doing now? You are going toward this cup. You're embracing it. You're excited. You're no longer hiding. You're no longer, covered in this heavy armor here. You're like, let me embrace that. Let me go after that. Let me live my life. Let me be happy. There's no longer resistance here. You seem to just be floating through the air, quite literally here. So you started with the Page of Cups here, where you're like, okay, let me see, what is this over here? And you're thinking about getting out of your cup. Eventually you do get out of the cup because you have the metamorphosis here. And now you're literally running toward these new things, people, places, things, situations. And so there's a great partnership that's coming in for you. There's a lot of emotional satisfaction because you have let go of something that was holding you back, something that was weighing you down. There's a message coming in for you when you get through this process, or at least halfway through it. There's a message coming in, and it's going to be a really positive message from someone, some sort of connection that you will have with someone. It could be work related, it could be romance, it could be new friendship, it could just be a kinship, someone in your soul family. So that's what I have for you today. That was a lot. I hope this reading helped you. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And if you ever want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that on my website, which is linked below. Thank you so much for watching.